So Bob Schacht is this, great racing slash Zen master at the track. But it looks like you got the itch again here. You start running the road courses again in ARCA.
Yep.
And here you are. I mean, it didn't end up the way you wanted, but 2010 in New Jersey. Now, this is the end, right in the end of pit road here. But, what, you just get the itch again? Or
well, I like I said, I quit because it hurt my neck so bad I couldn't hold my head up anymore. Well, then over time or whatever, I don't know if it healed itself or whatever, but then we started playing with go-karts on the dirt, no less. And I'm like, man, my neck ain't bothering me at all. So then we went somewhere and I don't know, roller coaster or something. And I'm like, God, this thing doesn't hurt at all. So then ARCA comes up with this race at New Jersey on the road course. And I'm like, I like playing on the road course. It's like street racing to me. So I'm like, so I built this car and I went there and the first time I went there, we ran pretty good. So then I go back the second time and it had rained and I got off into wet stuff and then I wrecked the car. So there I am, with it all wadded up.
Well, and then you did the Trans Am Series a couple of years ago. I mean, I assume you enjoy that.
I like road racing. I mean,
You and AJ and Andretti.
Andretti, yep. Yeah. We did that deal there in 19, I guess it was. So then over the pandemic thing, we didn't do anything.
Right, and then here's your last ARCA start, 2016. That's actually a nice looking car there.
Well,
at New Jersey.
That was a steel body car with the SP2 and stuff in it.
Yep.
Well, then when ARCA come up with their deal, with the composite cars and the Ilmore engine and on and on and on. So I figured this was going to be my last hurrah in ARCA anyway. So I built that car and we ran pretty good with it. Not as good as I wanted to, but we ran all right.
And is that it, you think, for ARCA? I mean, no more speedways, no more aero push and all that silliness and all that?
It ain't fun no more. It costs so much money to do it. I don't know how people can afford to do it, especially if they don't have somebody else, helping them. And
but I mean, Benny comes along or whoever.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll
him.
Yeah, I don't want to own this stuff anymore. I mean, I'll help direct them in the right direction, like I did with Benny. Rent the car from somebody else and stuff like that. But I don't want to own the ARCA stuff anymore. It just that would tempt me too much to go and do it.
That's what Bowsher said. He's like, if I even the local stuff, he's like, but now you have a new love. And that would be the next shot on the screen. You were the 2018 Super Cup champion, but it's a different kind of racing. Like Joe Schmeling, the series creator and the director, says it's a. What did you say? Racing the way it used to be? How
racing the way it used to be, and you'll spend a lot less money to race. And he's right. I mean, it's fun. It reminds me of the way it used to be. When we ran ARCA in the early days. In the early '80s, and the IRA thing, the same deal. You roll your stuff out of your truck and you go and you practice and you run across the scales and then you qualify and you race and you go home. Staying at racetracks for 3 and 4 days and is a waste of time and money. I mean, it's crazy. He runs a 100-lap race. Basically, he breaks it down into 250-lap races. I mean, each one pays pays money for first 50 and then the next race is a race itself. So basically 2 races, if you will, and you can work on the car if you need to change something, the only thing is you got to run the same tires in both races, which, the American racers, but it's fun racing, it's directly proportional to how much you spend and what you're racing for, and you spend a lot less money to do it, but you have a hell of a lot more fun than what's going on out there today.
And, there's an abundance of steel body cars out there, so not like you got to go searching. Where do I get that? Or I got a pad.
And you can run any kind of motor. You can run the Elmore, you can run the K&N motor, you can run an SP2, you can run a 23 or an 18 degree motor, you can run basically anything you want. He just pretty much like with me, he puts a, that tapered spacer on it, restrictor, if you will. And then it only turns 8,000 RPM. I mean, you could run that same motor forever. So, it's fun racing again. And honestly, that's what they need to be looking at, getting back to that, because what they're doing now ain't working.
There's no reason to create the better mousetrap, if you will.
Well, look at the car counts. That's easy. If you think your shit's working good, it ain't. 20 cars here, 13 cars there. 29 cars at Talladega, 30 at Daytona. Come on. What are you guys thinking?
Well, you're talking about having fun, but this next picture up on the screen doesn't look like you're having fun there.
Well, you still get guys that want to give you the cheap shots there, so I had somebody that decided it was easier to wreck me than race with me, so...
Well, but talk about that race but I mean, that's like, like
That's big.
heroism. How you guys fixed that thing.
Well, we did. I mean, the guys, helping me now. I mean, I got 2, 3, or 4 guys that come from Ohio and, help me. And then the guys I have that help me here, they, that thing was wrecked pretty good. And we worked on it and got it back together. And the second race, I went out there and I started in the back to make sure everything was good. And I drove to the front and I was leading the race until the right front tire blew out. So... I don't know if we had something rubbing or what. It's hard to say, because it finished it off.
Well, and now that I usually don't like to date my broadcast, but it is almost summer 2021, and you're back running with them again.
Yeah. So. I've won 2 out of 4 races so far. Finished second in one and third in the other, and we're getting ready to go up to Shenandoah, and it's just a fun series. I mean, no matter what kind of racing you're going to do, you're going to spend money doing it. And it just takes less money to do this. And we have fun doing it. It's good racing.
Now we have to get to the last 2 most important photos on the screen, and that is your family.
The 2 weddings.
Right. And this is you and Patty.
Yep.
Getting married. And you guys have been married, what is it now? How many
31 years.
31 years. Wow.
Yep.
Who would have thought that Dick Bob Schacht would have been married so long, right?
Boy, I'm telling you. And if Patty would have listened to everybody that told her, don't marry that guy.
Right. Yeah, well. Let's
more haters.
We can start a Facebook club.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Don't marry that idiot. Trust me, I'll be in that group. And then now you have
Priscilla.
Well, she's not a little girl anymore.
No more.
No, this was... how long has that been now? What, 2 years now?
2 years now, yeah. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, right. Unbelievable.
No, it's 2 years married to Stefan, and they're happy. They're doing good. It's a different world today, so you just got to find your spot where you want to be and what goes on. Your niche. Like anything else. So. And
what is she doing nowadays? I mean, there's no racing in her future, obviously.
No, they're, she worked for Hobby Lobby for a while there, then the pandemic thing, whatever you want to call it, happened. And so then she started doing art. She does, a lot of pictorial stuff on YouTube and stuff. It's dramaticparrot.com or something.
Yes.
and she does that, and she does, pictures and stuff, for, paintings and stuff for people, and she sells them on Etsy and stuff like that. So she's doing
tremendous
that.
artist. I mean,
she's awesome.
Schacht, what's
talent.
the word I'm looking for?
Talent.
Focus.
Yeah.
And talent.
And she does a good job, and I mean, she's really good with the kids. Kids love her, that she works with. I mean, she was teaching classes online there, before all the crap happened here and stuff. And I think she's getting it up and going again, so she's doing good.
And how's your son doing?
He's doing good. He, he was working for Siemens Corporation there for a long time, and then he decided he needed to make a change. So I think he's at DuPage County Hospital, working in their maintenance department. He's like the head of the maintenance department type thing, and or head of their new construction stuff. But yeah, he's doing good. Still living in Chicago, or suburb there. I keep trying to get him to come down here and stuff, but
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He came down here for a while when I was running Winston Cup, and he seen the madness that goes on with that. I think he went back home thinking, man, I don't want to do that.
I thought Chicago was bad.
Yeah. But
there's no Schachts in the future to carry on the racing name.
Darn, it might be it. When Bob finally hangs up his helmet, that might be the last of...
no petty legacy or whatever.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe they'll have to adopt somebody. You know?
So, I try to ask a lot of people this when I'm interviewing them, and
that was your first mistake.
Yeah, right. well, here's the thing: we know what people think of you.
Yeah.
You know, but I want to know, in the end. I mean, let's face it. At everybody's eulogy, oh, he's a great guy, and this and that and the other.
Boy, they'd be lying at mine.
I sure miss him, and what we don't write our own eulogies or legacies or whatever. But how would you like to be remembered?
Well,
and that's usually the answer I get from people.
Yeah.
They don't think about.
You know, I think the biggest compliment that somebody could give me is they can appreciate the passion that I have for racing. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, how many races you won or championships. You know, that's all cool. That's all part of the hardware and the bling of doing it and stuff. But I think, you know, the love for the sport and the passion you got for... I love working on these cars. I mean, you know, this new car they got coming, that's probably, you know, still yet to be determined and stuff like that. Yeah, really. But, you know, being innovative and creating stuff, working on them, pushing the envelope, you know, that's
finding that extra 10.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun of it, you know. And they've taken a lot of the fun out of it with all their silly rules. And, you know, I have a rule book that you don't enforce half of them that are in there anyway, you know, and then it's only to certain people, which, you know, that's been going on forever.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, I think the biggest thing that I'd like to be remembered for is, you know, I've won a lot of races, you know, won them championships, you know, the Super Cup thing and the IRA, you know, didn't succeed at winning the ARCA one. You know, but I mean, I liked what I did, where I wound up with, and how I did it, and the people that I did it with. So, the passion is the big thing. Gotta have the passion.
Bob has agreed to give us a tour of the shop, so let her rip.
Well, this is 9,000 square feet, and I kind of play here by myself. This is all my toys, cars. That airplane up there is the airplane that Tom built.
Wow.
And never did get to fly it, so when I got it, Les gave it to me. I hung it from the ceiling. At least it got up in the air anyway. And that's a bunch of trophies from, gosh, it's not even all of them.
Yeah, you've got 18 ARCA wins, but you've got
19.
the IRA.
19
oh, sorry, 19.
ARCA.
Whoops, don't shortchange it.
Get that fixed up.
Right, you spent a lot of money for that extra one.
That's right.
Now this black car right here is going to be what?
Well, so what I got is Rico Abre was running in K&N. So when he quit running, you know, for Turner Motorsports, I bought the cars. I bought 3 of the cars that he drove, and the one that you've seen in the crash there, that was the first one, and then the second one they built for him is the red car over there, and then this is the last one that they built for him. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I mean, I'll make it I thought about making a road course car and just going and playing at VIR with it.
Because they do have that class there. You're right. I forgot about that.
So I don't know. I'll just see what I feel like doing with it. Who knows? Yeah, you can see the thing on the front says Turner Motorsports there.
Yep, sure can.
So
So dirt bikes. I didn't know you were a dirt bike rider. You're a little young for that.
Well, actually, them belong to my cousin.
I see.
And he's got a new house being built, so he needed a place to store his motorcycles for
Rick
a while.
Schacht Racing. So
Yeah.
there you go. There's the
Yeah.
legacy, right?
Yeah, yeah, here we go. Yeah.
And speaking of motorcycles,
Yeah.
every time I get a hold of Patty and ask where you guys are at, or look on social media,
Yeah, that's mine.
you
and then
are
the purple
in
one is
Daytona
Patty's.
or wherever.
Yeah, we go to Bike Week in Daytona, and we go in March, and we go in October, and then we ride around here.
That's a pretty purple right there.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty, what do you call that, burgundy-ish?
Well, it's Candy Apple Red.
Candy Apple Red. There you
Yeah, it actually it's a one-off deal that Harley did. It's a 2019 that they did.
Okay.
And
that is a pretty bike. That is very nice. And you take your time going down and have fun and stay what, about a week or ish or so, or?
Yeah, we stay for a week, and we take our dogs with us and stuff.
Oh, really? Where do they sit? I can't imagine where they sit here.
Well, no, we don't take the dogs on the motorcycle.
Mr. Rude.
But we'll, yeah, there you go.
Well, better than Mr. Dick, right?
Yeah. Here, be careful you don't step in this oil there.
Right.
Changed oil in my truck, and I still ain't cleaned up my mess. There you go.
Mrs. Rude. Oh my goodness! And here, this is the go-kart you're talking about.
Yeah, my go-kart. We got all kinds of toys. I mean, you got to have toys. I mean,
yes.
And then, sorry, the place is a mess. I sold the semi.
Oh.
So this is all stuff that came out of the semi. There's stuff in there from 10 years ago I don't even remember. So then when you downsize, I got a 40-foot fifth wheel now. I can't put all that stuff in there. So,
right.
And that toolbox is as big as the trailer.
So. As big as the trailer, right? And I'm sure you got to wonder about the weight too.
From that. So we got a smaller toolbox, and then this is the car that we run in Super Cup. I won Dominion with it. I won Midvale with it, and it's just about ready now to go up to Shenandoah there. So
have you ever driven Shenandoah or?
Never seen it.
Okay.
So, and I like going to new places.
Right.
It'll be different for sure. So.
Now we kind of walked past I was interested in the pull-down rig there.
Yeah. I mean, anymore today with the way with coil buying and stuff that's going on, if you don't have one of them, you're hurting. I mean, you need one of them. Which, by the way, it's for sale if anybody wants.
If anybody wants to buy it.
Yeah.
Percentage-wise, what do I get?
I mean,
we'll see. Huh?
You never can tell. I might be done at the end of the year. Who knows? Just depends on how much fun I keep having.
Or lack of, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not so much the money it's about the fun, so.
Well, when you see the money leaving, I'm sure that's not for a lot of fun.
And then you got all these trophies up here, and that's some of the trophies from the Super Cup deal from 18. I forget. I think I forget 6 out of.
But your first win wasn't in 18, was it? I thought you won
17,
one year before.
I won at Dominion. Well, they had like the special race or whatever they call it there, and so I won that. And then in 18, I didn't necessarily want to run for points, but as it turned out, then we raced for points and we won, which. We got down to the last race where I had to finish 12th or better at Jennerstown, and I got out on the racetrack and I'm racing, like 5th and 6th, and I'm like, what am I doing? So, that's if you ask me if I'm running for points again this year, I don't know. I don't necessarily want to. Let's just see how it goes, and but I don't want to race for points because I don't like racing conservative. I mean, I want to go out and race as fast as we can go and finish good and stuff like that. When you race for points, it's a whole different mindset. That's probably why I never did it, other than a couple of that one time there in 95 or whatever.
Well, like in the IRA, you almost can't help it.
Well, yeah, because I
won all those races,
so
right?
let it fall, let it fall in there as it wants, But I'm working on shocks now for the cars and, different springs and stuff, getting ready to go to this next race. And then this is a car I'm putting together that is actually an old Pro Cup car that I got from Brian Keselowski.
Okay.
And I'm putting it together, and I told Patty she could drive it at Motor Mile. We're going to Motor Mile here on August the 5th, and I'm going to let her drive it there. So.
Maybe you show us that little innovation you have on the door there, which I'm sure everybody would say SRX started, but...
Well, no, actually, Moose Myers. Back in the day, Moose Myers had a door with a piano hinge on it.
Is that right? A piano hinge, wow.
What do you think of that?
Not bad,
And the thing is, look at that opening. I mean, that's 12 inches from there to there. That's hard to get in and out of.
Yeah.
So I built this so you can, get in and out. See, that the problem is, it's not a problem. It's just all this safety stuff we put in the cars today. You think about it, you just shortened up the hole here and the hole here. That's hard for a 200-pound guy to get in and out of. So it's
Not just getting in, but getting out of quickly.
Well, that's the biggest thing. When there's something going on, you got to get out in a hurry. I mean, you'll figure out a way to get out of there. Trust me.
Right.
But for the most part, it's just hard to get in and out of. So I came up with this deal here, to where you can. I'm going to put a cable on here, so you can just pull that down when you're in the car, and these things will open up.
Yeah, where the SRX cars, it swings to the side,
yeah.
but this comes down.
Yeah. So actually, it's the Moose Myers door.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha.
And I'll take this call.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Anyway, that's. I got to get. It's almost done. I'm waiting for a transmission for it, and then we'll put it together and let Patty go out and practice at Motor Mile before we actually go there and race. And she hasn't been in a car in, God.
It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
Well, let's see. When Priscilla was born.
It was 91, wasn't it? 90,
It was
91.
91.
Right? Yeah.
So, let me think. I think Patty drove Daytona right after Priscilla was born. Priscilla was born in October, and Patty ran Daytona, and I believe that was her last race.
I thought she did start and park at Pocono one year, didn't she? I thought she did.
Was that before?
That was after Priscilla was born.
Was it?
I think it was about 94, 95.
And that was
or something?
one of Brewer's, Lewandowski's car.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, so that might have been the last time. So that's every bit of 25 years ago since she's been in race cars. So
got to get that feel back.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. Better not be anybody taking her out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then naturally said, well, if you gonna let me win? No.
No. Did I ever?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, sir, appreciate the shop tour.
Yep, not a problem.
And appreciate the interview. And folks, if you'd like and share our page, we'd appreciate it. And Bob Schacht, it's good talking to you. And always been good talking to you. Always, like I say, you've always been great to me. Most people don't like media members. You seem to never have a problem, at least with me.
No,
I feel so special.
Hey, you guys got a job to do. I get it. You know.
And it looks like you got a few jobs around here to do yourself. On that,
Yeah.
On that segue, we'll head on out. And again, thank you for your time.
No problem.